Alrighty, my friends. Welcome to video lesson number 1. In this lesson, we're going to be learning how to build a project, both at the file level in Finder or Windows Explorer, and inside Premiere. So there are a number of reasons that we do this. First of all, it makes it easier for us to find our own files when we're working alone. But also, in the professional world, when we're collaborating with a team, it is very important that we have a standardized file structure outside Premiere at the file level in Finder or Windows Explorer, and then inside Premiere. Because when you're working with a team, it's very important for everyone on that team to be able to find video, audio, still images, graphics, various project files, etc. quickly and easily, because wasted time is wasted money. And if you want the team you're working with and yourself to be successful, you need to work quickly, efficiently, and in a professional manner. And that starts with a solid foundation and a well-built project. Okay, so we're going to start at the file level. We're in Finder here, but this also applies to Windows Explorer. So the first thing we're going to do on the desktop is create a new folder. So you can right-click and choose New Folder to do that, or you can use Shift, Command, and the letter N. Boom. There you go. Brand new folder. So what we're going to be doing is creating a template file structure that you will use for every one of your other projects in this class. So we're going to start out by naming this parent folder template, and this is in all caps, with an underscore and the year 2017. Click off of that, and there we go. Next, we're going to click into that folder and create a subfolder, our first subfolder. And we're going to call this one GFX, and that stands for graphics. That's where all of our graphics are going to go. Clicking back to the parent folder, because if I don't and I make a new folder, guess what? It goes inside graphics. And that's not what I want. Okay? So, clicking back to the parent folder, Shift Command N again, and our next subfolder is going to be MX for music. Okay, that is a standardized industry abbreviation, just like graphics is. GFX for graphics. Okay, clicking back to the parent, Shift Command N. We're getting into a groove now, right? Next folder is going to be project. Okay, that's where all of the project files are going to go. Makes sense, right? Next subfolder is going to be outputs. Okay, that's where our outputs are going to go. When we export, that's where they're going to live. All right, next. We're going to do SFX. That's for sound effects. Okay? Clicking back to the parent. Finally, we're going to do media. Okay, this is where our video files are going to go. So graphics, media, music, outputs, project, and sound effects. Now, in a professional application, you might get more specific than this. You might have subfolders inside these folders. Like for instance, in the project folder, you might have a folder just for Premiere projects and After Effects and Photoshop and so on. Okay, but we're starting out very basically here, and this serves as a great foundation going forward. So next, we're going to get into Premiere. We're going to make a new project, and we are going to name that project, guess what? Template. This time not all caps, just the first letter capped, okay? No underscore, and the year, 2017. Template 2017 underscore your name. That's my name. You type your name. And the date. Now, this is very important. The date you're going to use is going to be an 8-digit date format, starting with the year 2017 and today's date, which is August 25th. Okay? Next, we're going to tell Premiere where to put this project. Where do you think that's going to go? Onto the desktop, into our template, parent folder, inside the project folder. Makes sense, right? Cool. Okay, so next group of settings here. Renderer Mercury Playback Engine, OpenCL. This is the most common choice here. They recently came out with support for Metal here, which is another form of GPU acceleration. You can use that if you want to. Supposedly it works better. We're going to stick with this for now. Software only basically abandons the GPU acceleration in the helper card that you may have. If you don't have one, maybe you only see this choice, okay? But basically, this works way better than this does, okay? Next, we're going to stick with timecode for the display format, and audio display format will be audio samples. And in the capture format, this is kind of a misnomer here. It says HDV or DV. Really what this means is it going to be HD or SD? That's really what it's saying, okay? So over from the General tab to Scratch Discs, we're going to leave all of these choices same as project, okay? This makes it very simple. In the professional world, you will probably have a specific place for captured video, captured audio, and then there may be a specific location on, say, a server, maybe an SSD that is dedicated to serving up previews, both video and audio, and then an autosave that is not on the local system, something like that. But for our case, for our purposes, we're going to leave everything same as project all the way down the line here. It makes everything simple. Okay, we're not going to worry about ingest settings because we're not using that in this class. So we're going to hit OK. And bam, we have a project. All right. Now, just a really quick tour of the interface here. First of all, you have different ways you can view Premiere. We're going to stick with the standardized editing workspace here. Across the top, you have various workspaces you can use for different applications if you're doing effects, if you're doing assembly, audio, graphics, and so on. We're going to stick with editing. It's the most common one, and that way when we're referring to specific areas, we're all on the same page. All right? So we have number one down here, the project panel, okay? Now, there are different tabs in this panel, all right? So we have the media browser, libraries, info, effects, markers, history, all that stuff, okay? Right now, we're only concerned with the project panel, all right? Then up here, we have the source monitor. This is where clips you're thinking about using go, okay? Down here, we have the timeline. Once you have decided what you're going to do, whether you're dragging and dropping it in or using, say, 3-point editing from the source monitor, it will go into the timeline. And then finally, up here, we have the program monitor that actually shows what is in the timeline as you're playing it back. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, kind of like a sideways Z. All right, so you can actually use keyboard shortcuts to navigate to these panels. Shift 1 will take you to the project panel. Shift 2 will take you to the source monitor. Shift 3 will take you to the timeline, and Shift 4 will take you to the program monitor. They put them in that order because this is very commonly an editing workflow. This is where your stuff is stored. This is where you think about what you're going to use. Maybe mark your ins and outs. And then this is where it goes once you decide what you're going to use. And then up here is where you look at what you just edited in. Make sense? Cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is loosely mirror the folder structure we created at the file level, but using bins inside the project panel. So there are a couple of different ways to create bins. number one, you can click on this new bin icon down here. It looks like a folder. Don't call it a folder because it's not a folder, it's a bin, okay? Click on that and it makes a new bin. And we're gonna call this, yes, you guessed it, GFX, okay? For graphics. Now we wanna make sure and click off of that for the same reason that we clicked off of it at the file level. If you don't, and you create a new bin, it goes inside the graphics bin. We don't want that, okay? Not cool, all right? Next, you can create another new bin either by clicking that same new bin icon or by hitting Command or Control B. All right, so the next new bin is going to be media. All right, we're getting somewhere now. Now you notice these are out of alphabetical order. Well, I can get them in line by clicking the name header here, which will actually arrange them in ascending or descending order. Okay, see the little arrow? All right. Okay, so next new bin is going to be MX for yes, music. Next new bin is going to be SFX. All right, now you may have noticed I skipped over project and outputs. We don't need those in here. This is the project, and we're not going to be bringing the outputs into the project that we use to make them, okay? So we will be doing one other bin that we did not do as a folder at the file level, and that is going to be the SEQ bin. Now, what do you think SEQ stands for? Sequence, all right? Now, it's important that you understand that this window is the timeline, all right? And a timeline contains sequences, okay? Make sense? Cool. All right, so let's get these arranged properly. Wonderful. So now we have a standardized bin structure inside Premiere, and we have a standardized folder structure at the file level. And these two will work together in concert to properly and efficiently store your media so that you can quickly access it at any given moment, inside or outside of Premiere. That's a professional way to do it. And you can see here in the project folder is your template project, clearly and properly named. So now if we go back to Premiere, and I'm hitting Command Tab, you can also hit Alt Tab on the PC to go back and forth between various programs here. We go back to Premiere from Finder and go to File and Save, also Command S you can see. Quit Premiere, Premiere, Quit Premiere Pro or Command Q. And here we are out at the file level. Got our nice, neat little package here that stores everything we need. Click in, launch the project. And here we are, ready to edit, ready to import media and get to work. All right, my friends, that concludes video lesson number 1. See you again for video lesson number 2.